Hi everyone, I'm Peter Scove. You're watching Music is a Journey. Today's episode is about some of my recent experiences with ordering online from various sources other than Amazon. I typically have been ordering from Amazon, I don't know, for about like 20 years or so now. So I'd say of all my acquisitions in the last 20 years, probably about 80–85% of them have come from Amazon. However, I tend to buy a lot each year, and every year I say to myself, I really have to cut back, I have to cut back. And honestly, the last couple of years, things have been getting tighter and tighter around here. So this year, I really thought if I want to continue my music journey and adding to what I already have or discovering new things, I really need to be very careful about prices. And so I've been looking for alternatives. And some of those alternatives have been checking out Yahoo Auction Japan or Yahoo Flea Market Japan or a couple of other online flea markets here. As well, checking the Amazon Marketplace for sellers who have the items I'm looking for in very good condition, but used and for very reasonable, sometimes really low price. There have been some other things as well, but let's go with that for now. So I want to share with you, I think, 5 different things that have come up in the last couple of months. So first of all, this is Lindsay Schoolcraft's album Martyr. I think it was 2019, 2020, somewhere around that time. She came to my attention first because when I made my video about the Juno Award for Best Heavy Metal Album of the Year, this album was nominated in, I think it was 2020 or somewhere around then. So I checked her out a little bit and thought, oh, okay. And later I watched some interviews with her, and then I thought she actually was a pretty cool person. She also plays piano and she plays harp. So I thought, that's cool. She sings, she writes music, she plays piano and harp. That's great. So yeah, I decided I wanted to get a hold of her album, Martyr, and there were 2 versions available. One was a regular digipack version, and the other was one with what they called the storybook version, which had a booklet inside with additional artwork. A little bit of a side story here. The artwork that was that appears on the cover and on the back cover was created by a fan who sent in this image, and Lindsay loved it so much that she asked the fan if she could use the fan's artwork for the album, and then if the fan would be interested in designing additional artwork. And I'm afraid I don't remember her name exactly. It's Anastasia, and then a last name which I'm probably going to screw up. But you can find out more about it if you like. Maybe I'll put the name at the bottom here. So I was interested in getting the storybook version because I wanted to get the additional artwork. But roaming around on Amazon, I found that there were 2 options. One was to buy this album for 1,600 something yen. You don't need to worry about the exact exchange rate. Just know that 1,600 yen is pretty reasonable for a new CD. Often new releases coming out are over 2,200, and more usual is like 2,800, 2,900, even 3,000 yen, depending on the version, sometimes even more. So 1,600 something was quite reasonable. However, I didn't know if that was the storybook version or not. Then I found Import CDs was also selling it for 3,000 something, but the weight difference suggested that their version might have been the one with additional material. And I contacted Import CDs asking them about it, and they said they couldn't confirm any of their stock because it's in a warehouse in another state. So, all right. But then I thought, I'd really just like to get it. I don't want to fiddle about with, having to come up with the money to buy the storybook version. Maybe I'll just get the CD for the cheapest price I can find it for. And I found it on, I think it was Yahoo Auction. Someone had it up for 980 yen, sealed. So that was pretty good. So I put in a bid, and 4 days later I was the only one bidding, and it became mine. I think it was like 190 yen for postage or something like that. So still a few hundred yen cheaper than even the cheapest one on Amazon. But when I got it, and I took a picture and I wanted to put this on Facebook, I noticed that the name was spelled Schoolcraft with no T at the end. And I was pretty darn sure there was a T, and a quick check on the internet showed it's Schoolcraft with a T. So I wondered, why is there no T? Is it possible that this is a fake? And one thing was that I went to Lindsay Schoolcraft's Facebook page, and I found that one of her latest posts warned against people offering to sell fake goods. So I thought, oh great, maybe I picked up a fake. So I tried to check all the details on the front and back, and I couldn't spot any other difference than the T missing. Could it have just been a printing error? So I put it on that post of hers on Facebook in the comments. I said, hey, I just wanted to say I got a copy of your CD, and I'm curious about this missing T. Is it possible that I got a fake, or is it a printing error? And within 24 hours, Lindsay herself responded and told me not to worry, that it was indeed a printing error and that I do have a rare item now. So, okay, I was glad for that. It is an authentic, genuine release. It's just that there's a printing error, which kind of bummed me out. I mean, rare sounds nice, but it's not the Beatles we're talking about. It's not a rare Beatles album. So I would have preferred it with the T. Anyway, the good news was that, so first of all, let me open it up and show you. This is the additional artwork here created by the fan. And is there something here too? Oh, okay. So I thought, okay, that's cool. And then I noticed, okay, it looks like there's a booklet or something in here. Maybe there's just some additional info about who's on the album. And then I found that it was actually the storybook version with the additional artwork in here created by this Miss Anastasia somebody. Sorry, Anastasia. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So that in there turned out to be a win situation. I got the album for much, much cheaper than I would have paid for it anywhere else. And I got the storybook version with the extra artwork. That was really wonderful. Just, I got a version. The T. The T is here. I just noticed that now. The T is on this. It's not on this. Wow. Okay. So there we go. That's the first story. Now, I did actually make a video about all this before, but I am going to put that video into, I'm going to remove it from public and just put a link in the description here if you care, but I basically already told you everything. Okay, so next up, this is a sad, sad story. I'm a fan of the Northern Pikes. I have had 3 of their albums, and there are 2 important ones that I always really wanted to get, and one of them was called The Secrets of the Alibi, which was released around 1988-89. I found somebody selling it on Discogs. New, mint condition anyway. I don't know if it's new, but mint condition and for a really reasonable price. The thing about that album is I could not find it in Japan. It's only available as a very expensive import on Amazon. Other sellers like Tower Records, HMV, Virgin, and Disc Union, they just don't have it. And even searching the flea markets, I could only find it as a vinyl LP, not as a CD. So I had to order from this seller in Discogs. And the only thing I don't like about that is that the exchange rate is so poor right now, so that even if it's like $7 US, it's going to come out to be like 1,200 yen. Plus shipping is going to be like $18 US, and that's going to come out to a lot. So altogether, it turned out to be a little bit expensive, but I could get it in mint. So that was wonderful. So I placed the order. I left a message for the guy. He responded within a day or 2 and said, okay, I'll be posting it whatever day it was, next week on Monday or something like that. And that day came around. He sent me the message saying I posted it, and here is the tracking number. Wonderful. So coming from the US, I knew it would probably take 1 or 2 weeks, maybe 3. And after a little bit of time, I got a message from Discogs saying, we heard that you added new music to your collection, so maybe you'd like to remove it from your want list and add it to your collection and leave feedback to the seller. Well, I hadn't received it yet. That wasn't really any big surprise. There's often delays like that. I think from Europe is faster than coming from the US. Okay, so anyway, another week or so passed by, and I got another reminder from Discogs saying, don't forget to leave feedback. So I contacted the seller and I said, hey, just to let you know, it hasn't showed up yet. It's probably just taking some time. And he said, okay, thank you very much for your patience. I'm sorry about the wait. No problem. But another couple of weeks passed by, and then I checked the tracking number, that UPS tracking number, and that took me to the UPS page. I entered the tracking number, and they said, your item is ready for pickup by UPS. Really? By now some 4 weeks had passed, maybe 5, and my item is just ready for pickup by UPS after 5 weeks? You kidding me? And then it said also that you are seeing everything that our agents can see. Well, that's basically nothing, isn't it? So I checked back another week or so later, and again, same thing. Your item is ready for pickup, and you're seeing everything. It's like, okay, well, you guys aren't really telling me very much. So I went to the little help chatbot thing and asked about it, and then they said that this item has been sent from UPS to U.S. Postal Services, and it's in their hands now. So, okay, so much for the UPS tracking number. They got it, they sent it to the U.S. Post, and that's it. So anyway, I then put the tracking number into the U.S. Post page, but of course that tracking number is the UPS tracking number, so the U.S. Post says, we don't recognize that. So I tried to search around a little bit, and what I ended up with, if you would like to begin an investigation into a missing item, these are the steps to follow. So I started to do it, and then they said that it has to be initiated from the country of origin. So that's not me, that's the seller. So I sent a message to the seller explaining everything, and he said, okay, if it doesn't show up in another few days, I'll get on it. Well, again, a few days passed, the weekend came, and I sent a message to him saying, look, I'm really sorry to bug you about this, but it seems that the item is probably lost. Could you please look into it? 2 days later, he replied to me. He said the item is lost. Very sorry about this. I will I'll get the refund going for you on Wednesday. Today is Wednesday in Japan, so I'm going to assume that's, within the next 24 hours for the US. So anyway, yeah, he's going to give me the refund for it, and that's it. Well, that really sucks. I mean, for him it sucks because he has to refund the lost item. Now, it was probably only a few bucks US for him, but still, But for me, it's like, okay, now I've got to try to find somebody else selling it. And there are only 2 other sellers on Discogs selling it in mint condition on a CD, and they are both quite a bit more expensive. Plus there's the shipping, plus the exchange rate has worsened in the last couple of months. So if I want to buy it now, it's going to cost me more because it's more expensive, and it's going to cost me more because the exchange rate is worse. So I think for now, I just have to hold off on getting a hold of Secrets of the Alibi, which stinks. The good news is that I was actually able to pick up one of the Northern Pikes' later releases, which is called Truest Inspiration. The band released 4 albums throughout the 80s and early 90s, and then they split up for several years, and then got back together again after Greatest Hits album was coming out. And I think this was their first or second release since then. So here I managed to get this one used off of, I don't remember if it was the flea market or the auction, but a few hundred yen for this, used but very nice condition. There's a slight bit of wear on the cover, but the CD is fine, everything inside is fine, no problem. So and it's a good album. It's not their classic one, but it's pretty decent. So that is the sad story of Secrets of the Alibi by Northern Pikes. I will have to get it. Okay, moving on. So next I'd like to tell you about Danko Jones. As I've talked about him recently, I've become interested in his music. He is very hard-hitting, kick-ass hard rock, quite stripped down, bare bones, almost like your basic AC/DC, just with a little bit more exciting drumming. And as well, Danko's got a really unique style of singing. It has a good, interesting attitude to it. It's just guitars, bass, drums, vocals. That's it. I think I know one track that has a synthesizer effect in one part just to give it more of a mean feel. But anyway, I've really become interested in his music, and I picked up a couple of his albums. And then I watched a documentary, and what I heard from the debut album sounded really good. What I heard from the sophomore album sounded really good. And just everything sounded really good. So I tried to take a look for the debut album, Born a Lion, and the cheapest one available on Amazon was 2,000 some hundred yen, 2,300, 2,400, plus 350 yen shipping. So I thought, yeah, normally I would have just ordered it right away, but these days, money being what it is, I kind of hesitated. The second album was not available new. This is We Sweat Blood. It was not available new, or if it was really expensive. But somebody was selling it in very good condition for about 1,000 yen, plus 350 yen shipping. And the last one was Sleep is the Enemy, the third album, which was available new, but again, like 2,600, 2,700 yen. So I did a look on Discogs, and I found somebody was actually selling all 3 albums for something like $5, all of them said to be in, I think it was very good condition. So I thought, okay, so $5 a piece. It said shipping $12 Canadian, so maybe not too bad. I asked him about it, and he said, okay, if you're going to order all three, I'm going to have to confirm the shipping with the post office. And he did, and it came out to be something like $28 Canadian for the 3 CDs with shipping. So adding it all up, it came out to something like, with the exchange rate, 5,600 something yen for the 3 albums. If I added up the prices for Amazon, it was over 6,000, somewhere around probably close to 800, 900 yen more. All right. And that was for 2 new and 1 used, whereas his were 3 used in very good condition. So I thought, okay, the guy seems nice, and he says that he's taken good care of his CDs, and he just wants to hopefully send them off to somebody who's going to appreciate them. So we went through it. I ended up ordering all 3. He sent them. They arrived within 2 weeks anyway, so pretty quick. And when I got them, yeah, I gotta say, so the first one, Born a Lion, yeah, the CD case does have a bit of wear on it. And when I opened it up, it just has that feel of a used CD. It's not in bad condition or anything. There's probably just a slight bit of waving to the paperwork inside. But what I found with the CD, and you probably can't see it, but there were fingerprints on it. I can't even see them now. There they are, there they are. I have to adjust the light, but there are fingerprints on the top here, which is... okay. But the backside of the CD actually is in very nice condition. There are some minor scratches, but plays perfectly fine. Everything is cool, and I tend to play everything off my iPhone anyway, so this will just sit on the shelf. Still, though, it really looks like a used CD, even if it's in very good condition, and it kind of bothered me a bit, so like I feel like maybe I still have to buy it new, but no money for that. Next one, We Sweat Blood. Again, lots of slight, wearing. I'm sure some of my CDs look like that too. Back cover's a bit wavy in there. Inside, the CD looks like this, so if there are fingerprints on, I don't really notice. And the disc itself is actually very nice. There aren't any scratches on here. There's just a slight bit of clouding in one spot, which might be a fingerprint. Okay. But anyway, plays fine, and that's all cool. Maybe I should just put a new case on it. The last one, Sleep is the Enemy, unfortunately took a beating in the post. This is how it looked. Yeah. But aside from the fact that the case comes off, everything inside seems pretty much the same. Again, the CD is almost, there's no scratches, slight bit of a marking on one spot, which might have been a bit of finger grease, I don't know. But yeah, overall, it's fine. The thing is that it bothered me so much that these looked used, and I thought, I have to buy a case for this. And when I went back to check Amazon, I found that the prices of some of them had dropped, and in fact, Sleep is the Enemy was suddenly at, I don't remember what it was, 46% off or something, 52% off. So for the same price as, well, anyway, just over 1,000 yen, I could get a digipack version, so no cracked case, with a bonus track. Well, I couldn't resist. So even though I actually already had the album, and nothing wrong with the CD really, I went ahead and ordered the digipack version with the bonus track, and I have a friend who will probably like this, so he's going to get it. So end up result with that is I just don't like that it looks so used. I don't like it that much. Okay, but that's the risk you take. The guy was very nice. He did his job. Everything is fine. Fingerprints. Anyway. Okay, let's see here. So, 2 more quick ones then. This is Eternal Blue by Spiritbox. Now, and I did my Canadian Juno Awards for Best Metal Album of the Year. I said Spiritbox was nominated for this album. Who are Spiritbox? I had no idea. But through an interesting course of, I guess, YouTube algorithms, first it came up that Lindsay Schoolcraft, whom we talked about, on her Facebook page posted something about Spiritbox. So I listened to the song she talked about. Okay, it sounds like what, metalcore or black metal? Not sure. Harsh vocals all the way through. Weird video. The video's Holy Roller, in case you're interested. Okay, not sure if I really need it. Then there was a YouTube short of Spiritbox performing live, and there was the vocalist Courtney LaPlante on stage, really giving her. And I thought, you know, actually it sounds pretty decent. Then I guess YouTube figured, oh, so you're interested in Spirit Box. So next thing you know, I got lots of recommended videos, and one of them was, what's the name of the song here now? Circle With Me. There is a studio sing-through by Courtney LaPlante for the song Circle With Me. Now, her vocal performance in that studio video thing was fantastic. And that was just the selling point for me. Okay, Spirit Box, I've got to get an album by them. And since then I watched some of their other videos, but I wanted to get the album. Now the thing that's really cool about Courtney LaPlante is that she can sing beautifully like a pop singer, actually, like a good pop singer. And I watched a video where it was, let's see, the Charismatic Voice. She is a vocal coach that reacts to videos. I watched 2 or 3 vocal coach reaction videos to this, but the Charismatic Voice had the best cover of it. And she said that she really liked Courtney LaPlante's vocals because she could sing like a pop singer. She could put in bits of almost like funk. She had such a range and such a beautiful, clean singing voice. And then she goes into the harsh vocals just so wonderfully. And in her vocal run through of Circle With Me on that video, she could actually like switch clean, harsh, clean, like just back and forth like that. She could sing a line where one word was put into harsh vocals and then right back to clean vocals again. It sounded really cool. So yeah, I wanted to get the Spirit Box CD, but again, very few people were selling it. It's now 3 years old or so, and in Japan it's just not widely available. It's an expensive import, yada yada yada. Same story for a lot of Canadian releases. So I took a look around and I found in Yahoo Shops someone was selling it for 2,200 and something yen, which was maybe 600-700 yen cheaper than the next lowest price. Also, with this Yahoo shopping, I happened to get a 300 yen coupon, so the coupon knocked the price down. Yes, there was postage, but it's postage within Japan, so it was only like 190 yen again, or 220, not nearly as much as ordering from overseas. So I ended up getting this for somewhere around 2,200 yen anyway, postage included. Great. So that was a really lucky find, new CD. That worked out very well, and it's cool. Like, this is more modern metal. It has a lot of modern day studio technique things in there and effects and so on. But Courtney LaPlante is an impressive vocalist. And just in case you want to know some background information, Courtney LaPlante was actually born and raised in Alabama, or at least she was raised in Alabama. However, her parents divorced when she was a teen, and she and her mother moved to Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, where she then, I don't know, did whatever she did, and she is now married to the guitarist in the band, and it's the two of them. They have the band Spirit Box. They're the main like composers, songwriters, whatever, and then they have, of course, their other band members. So those two, I forgot the husband's name now, but they are the two folks in Spirit Box. So Spirit Box is a Canadian band with an American born and raised vocalist, fantastic singer Courtney LaPlante. Okay. One more thing, and this is going to be really super quick because there's nothing spectacular to report, just to say that some other things, Cowboy Junkies, I had my eye out on this, again, new on Amazon, 2,000 something yen. I found it on a flea market for, I think, 400 yen used. Very good condition, and what it meant was that, again, there's just some slight bit of marking here to show somebody took this out and maybe had a bit of a task putting it back in again. The CD itself is really super clean. Inside there's nothing. I think this person bought this, probably put it in their computer, looked at the inlay stuff here, inlay card, and that's it. So, and there's almost no wear on the CD case either. So that was fantastic. That's one of the things when you're ordering used CDs, like in Japan, they have systems like Hijoni Yoi, which means like really good condition, or Hobo Shinpin, which is like new. And also, there's also like good condition, and then there's possible, which means it still plays, but it probably looks like crap. And if you order from Disc Union, they have like their grade A, which again is like almost like new or really, really good. And grade B, there's some problems, like maybe the paperwork is damaged a bit, whatever. I did tell about my Collective Soul CD where the booklet inside was actually missing. Like the whole center double page was gone, so that was 4 pages of booklet that were missing. Anyway, they refunded me for that. And it was something like 31 yen plus shipping, so super cheap. And then one other one here, I was kind of curious about Chantal Kraviazik. I've been curious about her ever since I heard her in the late 90s, but I never bought any of her stuff. And I found this one here for, I think it was 81 yen? Again, used in very good condition. The store now, this is the 3rd time I've bought something from them, and they always replace the CD case. So it is a brand new jewel case, which is lovely. And again, paperwork inside, there's barely even any markings to this. Unlike the Cowboy Junkies, where I can see a tiny little bit of a mark, there's nothing to see on this one. CD is in great condition. No scratches or anything. Album plays through perfectly well. So, yeah, it cost 350 yen. Because it was through the Amazon Marketplace, so it was 350 yen for shipping, whether it's domestic or international. So there was that, yeah. And then I was like 51 or 81 yen for this, for almost like new CD. So that was great. So yeah, that's how it sometimes goes when you're ordering from different people online, whether you're ordering new or used. Various little things can happen. And that's my story for today. Okay. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm working on a video that requires a little bit of research into my own personal data files on the topic. So I'm hoping to do that over the weekend. But anyway, that's all. Thanks. See you around, people. Bye.